Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. I'm going to be taking the High Elves this time. This is the first replay I believe I've showed where I've actually taken them, so we're definitely in for a good time here. You can see I've got a Prince up on a Sun Dragon here leading the army. We are facing up against the foul Skaven hordes, so definitely in for a good time. And I've seen a few people recently commenting on, Turin's videos and others asking about a good High Elf build versus Skaven. And this is what I have come up with. Personally, I'm a big fan of Chariots against the Skaven because they lack, generally they lack high mass units to be able to stop them. Rat Ogres are really the only thing that can effectively stop these guys in their tracks. So they can potentially do a lot of damage here. So I have brought 3 of these cheap Tiranoc chariots. They're traditionally a missile chariot, but I just turn off skirmish, turn on melee mode, and just use them basically as a melee chariot. They've got decent combat stats, 55 charge bonus with a 40 weapon strength, including 18 bonus versus infantry, which is, of course, very pertinent against the Skaven. They also do have a missile attack, which can fire in all directions, so as they pull in and out, they'll be able to do some damage using that bow attack. I've also got a mage with the lore of high magic. She's also riding a chariot, of course, just to give her a bit of extra killing power. She's carrying arcane unforging for, damage versus enemy lords. We've also got apotheosis for healing and fiery convocation, which, not actually a huge fan of this spell. You guys will see it used in this game, but I stopped taking it after this game just because I don't think it's wildly effective. For the infantry, we've got 4 spearmen with 2 white lines of trace here in the center for a relatively small infantry component. We've also got 2 silver helms here kind of in reserve supporting the infantry force. You can see the other chariots over here, and vanguarded way out in this corner here, we've got 1 unit of Illyrian Reavers just for some light cavalry, potentially getting on Skaven artillery or skirmishers. Very, very good tactical ability there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Skaven build now. So for my opponent's build, it looks like the main line is a mix of Plague Monks and Clan Rats, which he's actually brought one of these Plague Monks with Censer Bears. The Plague Monk Censer Bears, they've got these censer maces, I guess what they almost look like, but they are actually not great for their cost, considering they cost 1100, which is, the same as like Black Orcs and, other elite tier infantry. They just, they have great weapon strength with good armor piercing. They've also got the leadership effect, magic attacks. There's a lot to like here. However, they only have 10 armor and 32 melee defense, meaning these guys will take a beating really fast, and it makes them really not cost effective. So I'm not a huge fan of these guys, but the regular Plague Monks I really, really like. He's also got some Clan Rat Spears supporting on each flank. It looks like 1 in the rear actually, and 1 over on that flank. On this flank he's got his Warlord on a Bonebreaker, very good choice. He's also got 1 more unit of Rat Ogres, so has the potential to be able to pin down some chariots here with these guys. Skaven Slave Slingers as well in the back, just for some ranged fire, and 1 unit of Poison Wind Globadiers. So these guys are awesome. They are super good against large units. They have a huge bonus versus large, 28 over 10 seconds. So if you combine that with their armor-piercing missile damage, they'll do a ton to, lords, heavy cavalry, other large, heavily armored units. I really, really like these guys. For one more cool piece, my opponent has brought a Doom Wheel, which is a very powerful unit. It's a bit expensive, and against the High Elves, they do have some heavy gooning potential and the ability to stop this with heavy cavalry and so on. So I'm not a huge fan against the High Elves, but it is potentially a very useful unit, and I didn't even notice that before. There's actually like a bunch of tiny rats. I guess not tiny, they're probably huge, but there's a bunch of rats in the bottom of this thing. I never even noticed that before. That's super cool. Oh man, these models are all amazing for this game. So let's go ahead and kick things off. Of course, Warp Lightning Cannon as well here in the center for the Skaven. This map, though, you can see he's got not too many good firing lines. Because I have this nice ridge here, I can, bring up my light cavalry and a couple of my units of chariots over this way, and they're not going to get shot at too much. Meanwhile, these other guys can push up and around this forest here, and again, the Warp Lightning Cannon's really going to struggle to get effective shots through this forest here, so definitely looking good for me. I'm also bringing up my Prince on this flank, looking to potentially get on that Doom Wheel and just take it out before it can do too much damage. You can see the ranged fire now going down from those chariots there, so definitely very cool looking units, and they are very effective against the Skaven, as we will see. My opponent wisely repositioning some of his clan rats with spears, but, you know, unless I was to charge straight into the front of these guys, they're really not going to be able to pin down these chariots. You can see I'm easily just running right around, and there's the fiery convocation going off. My opponent wisely dodging there, but this one unit that it made square contact with, it really didn't do that much damage. Considering it's a low armor unit of clan rats, it didn't even kill a single unit model. So yeah, fiery convocation is very, very underwhelming. Really not a fan of that spell, but it is what it is. You can see this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. This unit of clan rats with spears is trying to catch these chariots, but it's going to have a really bad time. And even now, if I were to get a charge into the flank here of these spearmen, they're going to take a huge amount of shock damage and probably just die off. You can see my guys are getting a charge order. They actually clipped the back of that unit there. My opponent's attempting to send some more clan rats through, but these guys have almost zero mass, so they're not going to be able to do anything to stop these chariots. Meanwhile, the High Magic Mage is in a bit of a precarious situation. She's having to run away from the Bonebreaker, but she's also getting some really nice work done against these Globadiers. This was definitely a high-value target for me, so I was trying to just continuously path my guys after them. But yeah, she's in a pretty bad spot right now. She definitely needs to try and escape as much as possible, but that Bonebreaker actually gets a stagger there, which looks like it might send her into routing, and now that she's slowed, she's actually able to be stopped by the clan rats. You can see these other two units of chariots, though, just continuing to, you know, cycle in and out. They've actually taken this cannon offline, so it's no longer firing. They, you know, interrupted the crew. My opponent's going to try and get back on there, but it looks like we actually did destroy one of the cannons, which is nice. And wow, another one going down to those missiles. So those missiles can actually do quite a bit of damage there. You can see my opponent's trying to respond with the Rat Ogres, but as he chases with the Rat Ogres, the missiles from the Tiranoc chariots will be very effective. You can see bringing in my two Silver Helms now, charging down these Plague Monks, and this unit is going to get evaporated in no time. They have very low armor. They've taken a ton of shock damage already, and the lack of armor piercing of Silver Helms is a bit of a problem, but it won't be an issue against the Plague Monks, of course. So you can see the Warp Lightning Cannon firing with its one good unit model, while the chariots just continue to rampage around the back line here. The Prince has been able to fairly successfully see off that Doom Wheel, although it is going to rally. But I am in a bit of a precarious situation now. I really don't want to take a fight straight up with a Bonebreaker, especially with these Globadiers chilling right here. They're going to be able to pitch some Poison Globes right into me, so I'm going to pull away there and try and not take that engagement. Silver Helm's getting bogged down a little bit, but you know, I definitely need to be cycling them in and out more aggressively, like I'm doing here. We're going to try and pull away these Illyrian Reavers and these Silver Helms now that we've pretty much broken this unit of Clan Rats. The two Chariots as well, these two about very healthy on this one, very low for the High Magic Mage, but she's still doing okay. This other two units of Chariots you can see just continuously plowing through the lines, and now we're going to get a great rear charge into these Plague Sensor Bearers, and this is a very expensive high-value unit. They'll actually probably trade okay with the White Lions, but you can see the Chariots there just running them completely over, doing a ton of shock damage and actually routing them off, so that's tough. And whereas the Spears aren't braced here, they're just going to get plowed straight through, and we're just going to continue on straight into this back line here. Or, yeah, actually looks like we did get caught up a little bit there, but it's all good. You can see the Doom Wheel now coming back in, going to get a really nice charge into the flank of these Spearmen. However, it is in the woods, so it isn't as good as it could be. And, you know, it is just Spearmen, which, although they are expensive comparatively to other low-tier Spearmen, they're not that expensive. You can see the Globadiers, I'm just continuously hunting my Chariots after them, trying to run them over and keep them from firing. They're one of the few units that could definitely take down the Chariots. The Bonebreaker as well just killed a unit model there. But as long as we're able to just continuously run around and not be caught, we're going to be okay. These Illyrian Reavers continuing to get in the back line here, just do some great cycle charging. These Chariots also up on this hill, just continuing to run around, and you can see the Skaven have a really hard time pinning these guys down. They just do not have the mass to be able to stop Chariots, very much so like the Dawi. I mean, I guess the Skaven do have Rat Ogres, which can potentially be a counter to Chariots, but this unit of Rat Ogres over here is way out of position, not being focused on the Chariots, and right now it looks like they're caught up on these Silver Helms, which is a bit unfortunate. But the Silver Helms will probably lose that engagement straight up, but if they're able to get an effective charge on the Rat Ogres, you know, they could win. And because the Rat Ogres are so low, and these White Lions hopefully will rally and start helping out in this fight, we should be able to see off those Rat Ogres. And the Chariots just continuing to, as before, just ransack, run around the rear lines here. This unit getting caught up by the Spears is not great. They're fairly low and probably going to go down here, but they've done a substantial amount of damage. 103 kills, 74 there. These guys picking up 118 and only 38 for the High Magic Wizard, but, you know, she's going to do okay. Mostly her magic, you know, is what she's here for. We've got the Apotheosis has been cast continuously on the Prince to keep him in the fight. And now you can see the Bonebreaker coming in for one last charge here. Spearmen are definitely going to be a good counter to the Bonebreaker. A lot of these Skaven units just really having a hard time holding their leadership together. Even the Warlord, about half leadership here, able to do some great splash damage, and he might actually rout off those Spearmen, but you can see I've still got this heavy Chariot force here. The Prince is still very healthy up on his Dragon as well. Globadiers firing into Spearmen's probably not super cost effective because they have a great missile block chance, and they're not really a unit, you know, that the Globadiers are designed to counter. But now that these guys are on the run and isolated from the rest of the army, we're going to bring in the remnants of the Chariots here and get a great charge, finally finish off these Globadiers and rout them off the battlefield. Because I have this mobility advantage here, I can just, you know, push these guys straight off the side of the map. Meanwhile, we're bringing in the Prince, just breathing some fire here, trying to kind of develop a little bit of a skirmish phase here, even though I don't really have any skirmishers. Just using the Fire Breath on the Dragon and cycle charging continuously with these Silver Helms here. So they are a beautiful looking unit. It's too bad they're not a little bit more effective. They're just, you know, for the cost, I think Knights of the Realm and Reichsguard are going to be better once they come in. And, I mean, they struggle against Cold Ones, Cold One Riders for both the Lizardmen and the Dark Elves, so it's a tough matchup. Against the Skaven, they can be very, very useful, but that's pretty much the only matchup I would bring them in currently. But you can see a lot of these units, we just finished chasing some guys off the battlefield, so we're going to rally all these guys back together and bring them back over here towards the remnants of the Skaven lines. You can see this unit of Clan Rats is isolated here on this flank, so we're going to get a great charge in here, and although these Silver Helms are very tattered, they did some really nice shock damage there. Fortunately, the Doom Wheel does armor-piercing damage, so it is actually able to take down those cavalry models fairly effectively. The lightning gun also does armor-piercing, although you can't control where it fires. It just kind of fires wherever it wants to. But my opponent continuing to just summon up units, try and just hold his leadership together. You can see the bounce power still very close at this point, but we do bring the Dragon down, get on the Bonebreaker, and it actually terrifies him off, so that's a great get for me. Losing the Skaven leadership is a big problem for them, and we've still got a few healthy Chariots. We just brought them in for a rear charge with this unit that was kind of, you know, saturated in on the Prince here. The rest of the Chariots are going to get a little bit caught up here, but we do have this unit of Silver Helms that's now rallied. They can come in for a rear charge. We've got these two units of Spearmen as well who are coming through. They're going to get back in here. The Skaven Lord unfortunately did rally right on the edge of the map, but he's going to rout off again and just go straight off. So that'll be pretty much it. You can see the balance of power starting to tip after the Bonebreaker ran off. So at the sight of their leader fleeing, the rest of these Skaven are going to turn tail and run with a rear charge from the Silver Helms, finishing things off very beautifully. So hope you guys enjoyed watching that. Sure enjoyed playing it. Yeah, the High Elves are interesting. You know, they're good, don't get me wrong. They're powerful. They're probably the weakest, or should I say the hardest to use out of the Game 2 factions, I would say. They're just a bit tricky because they don't have a great variety of infantry. Their infantry is very good, but it's also very expensive, and they don't have a lot of variety. The Chariots, you can see here, doing a lot of work. 170 kills, 2 chevrons on this one, 124 here, and 76 and a chevron on this guy. So really, really nice work done from all the Chariots. The Lady Mage herself, with the lore of High Magic, racking up 62 kills by the end of everything. Very, very good for her. The Silver Helms as well, 87 kills is pretty decent, but this one, 155, 2 chevrons. That's excellent. That's really what you want out of Silver Helms. And against the Skaven, you can potentially get him to perform, you know, on that level. For the Spearmen, you know, they're just meant to hold, really. 122 and 91 for the White Lions is decent in the center. The Illyrian Reavers as well, getting 50 kills, so all these kill totals are pretty high except for these 3 Spearmen, and that is what you need to do against the Skaven. For my opponent's build, this Doom Wheel actually got a little bit of work done there at the end, and you can see why I was so bent on taking this unit out. It's very, very powerful, even against heavy cavalry and other units that you would traditionally think Chariots are weak against. It's a very strong unit. The Warp Lightning Cannon wasn't able to get the work done that it needed to either. Those Rat Ogres did some nice work against the White Lions and so on, but not able to pin down the Chariots like they probably needed to. And the rest of the units kind of just getting run over for the most part by the Chariots. 61 kills on this Plague Monks is nice. Plague Monks are a great unit, but the rest of these guys pretty much just got run over. The Bonebreaker did okay, but yeah, getting terrified by the Lord at the end there was really, really tough. So hope you guys enjoyed watching. I sure enjoyed playing it, like I said before. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'm keeping it coming with more every single day, so stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.